Butler III made his home debut for Golden State 2.5 weeks after the Warriors traded for him. They were facing the team directly ahead of them in the standings, the Mavericks, with Klay Thompson returning to the Chase Center, and a franchise legend, and Andre Iguodala was having his jersey retired. Now, when this trade initially went down at the Super Bowl, Stephen A., you told me you weren't moved. Have you changed your mind?
I have. I really, really have. I've changed my mind. I think I was wrong when I first spoke about it.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I think I was.
I'm sorry.
I mean, miracles do happen.
One more time.
Miracles do happen. I think I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
When I first talked about this. When you have a guy that can get to the free throw line as frequently as Jimmy Butler, who's second in the usage rate on the team, Steph Curry's at 29%, he's at 23%. What happens then is you're giving him a break. You're giving him a breather without him having to get off the court to sit on a bench. That, to me, makes Golden State very, very potent. So when I look at the West, again, I don't have them winning it, but I can't summarily dismiss what I'm seeing and how impressive it's been.
Now you can speak again.
Well, I mean, listen, I am impressed because Jimmy Butler, listen, we know what playoff Jimmy is all about. We know that the brother is a winner and he can get things done. But I didn't see it as a match and the personnel around them. I didn't see being able to flourish. But you see what Jimmy Butler has infused in them. Him and Draymond Green and that personality in your locker room and on the basketball court. Jimmy Butler being a more aggressive, Tim, secondary option than, say, an Andrew Wiggins or somebody. He gets to the basket. He scores. He goes to the free throw line. He gives you a breather because he can slow things up, contributing to controlling pace for the Golden State Warriors. And that just gives somebody like Steph Curry more room to operate, more time to breathe, more energy because he's got more time, because Jimmy Butler's get to the free throw line at a 9.3 rate, 9.3 free throws per game. That's sixth in the NBA since he's arrived in Golden State. Do I think that's enough to overcome the OKCs of the world? No. But what I'm saying is, because of how explosive Steph Curry can be, because you got these other cats that can shoot, because you got a guy like him that can score, and they're both smart and savvy, and obviously defensively with Butler and Draymond and others, they could make it interesting and possibly knock somebody off that we're expecting to make noise.
I love your point about what Jimmy Butler getting to the free throw line does for Steph Curry resting, because from the time the whistle blows to a guy goes to the foul line and actually that process takes place, those free throws are made, and then the ball's on the other end of the floor, a lot of times that's 60 to 90 seconds in real time.
Yes.
Steph Curry is not – that could have been 3 or 4 more trips of missed or made shots where he is now able to rest, and I think that's a great point, and it's such a subtle thing, but it matters a lot to Steph Curry, who can get worn down at times. Here's where I've been surprised – not surprised, because Jimmy Butler is a very smart player. His ability to fit within the confines of his offense, because that's what I was wondering. Like, how exactly does that work? The mid-range game, the ISO play, the free throws, the toughness, we knew that. What about fitting in with this style of play with Draymond Green and Steph Curry and the way they want to play? You know what it is? Jimmy Butler is an incredibly underrated passer, and he's got an unbelievable IQ for the game. So he finds the right space to occupy. He knows the next pass to make after he receives it. So all of that continuity stuff still works with Jimmy Butler doing his thing. I've been incredibly impressed. And I also see them running out into the locker room now, onto the floor rather, out of the tunnel. They've got a swagger and a belief about them now.
Yeah.
They've got a totally different energy about them and their belief in terms of what their ceiling is.
Yep. Shannon?
But that's all it took. It took them to beat a team without Anthony Davis, without Lively, without Daniel Gafford. That's all it took. So I guess what? The Lakers going to the championship. If they can play OKC without Shai Gilgeous, without Williams, without Hartenstein, and without Chet Holmgren, here we go. Really, Stephen A. and Legs? In that 5-1 record, who have they beat? That's above them.
I don't know who they play.
Hold on, nobody's saying they're winning. Nobody's saying they're winning the West. We're not saying they're winning the West, but they're a dramatically improved product.
I was wrong.
I was.
Stephen A. I was.
Excuse me. First of all, you should hold on, because you're not going to hear me say that very often. So you should hold on to those moments, okay? That's number one, okay? Number two, you're one of the people who taught me this. Listen, when you're watching the nuances of the game unfold before your very eyes, everything is not predicated on just the competition of play sometimes. Sometimes you're watching how teams seamlessly work together, and then you're imagining what they could do on any given night. That's all I'm saying. I don't think they're going to the finals, but do they have the potential to knock off somebody in the West, Shannon? I think they do.
Shannon, to answer your earlier question about the only team they beat that's ahead of them, excuse me 1 second, the only one is the Rockets.
Now, Steven, now, if they go knock off OKC, they knock off Cleveland, they knock off Boston, they get one of those teams like that, because y'all know what we do to them. It don't matter who they're. You already know what LeBron do to. Don't you know, Stephen A? Legs, don't you know? Don't you know what we do? Okay, I'm just checking. Long as everybody knows.
No, he's about to make my spring a very, very uncomfortable spring.
Oh,
he's
no
starting
doubt.
to get on my damn
No
nerves.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm just getting stopped going to hear more of this. The more they climb, I'm going to have to listen to this, Molly. I have to listen to this man.
Yes,
I thought my spring was going to be better and his spring was going to be bad. But them damn Knicks.
Opposite trajectories?
I tried to tell you this.
Opposite trajectories.
We'll see. It's still early. We just got back from the All-Star break. Let's not panic. Let's be cool.
No, it's
not. Well, let's spend like 3 games. Take it down a notch. All right. Considering alternative options, I love both, such as surgery for his injured left knee. Sources telling ESPN on Sunday both sides have hope for progress in Embiid's condition, but his determination to play and current treatments, including regular injections, sources said have not led to any improvement. It's an understatement to say this has been an extremely disappointing season in Philadelphia. Obviously, Embiid has dealt with a myriad of injuries throughout his career. I'll come to you, Legs. What should Philly do with Embiid?
I mean, you don't have a choice because this isn't going to rectify itself with what they're doing, the injections, the rest occasionally, or sometimes extended rest. It's obvious. Are you watching the guy move? It's not going to improve. And I'm not even saying, look, he can still go out there some nights and be a productive player. He's probably still better at 70% than whatever else they'd put in that spot off their bench. That's not the point. The point is this is going to gradually continue to get worse. It's obvious. Joel Embiid, by his own admission, is saying this won't be right until I get this actually addressed. And you know what that means? That means surgery. So if that's what it's going to take, do it now. What's the point of running him out there every night? Looking the way he looks. He can't move at all defensively. He becomes a perimeter player offensively on those nights when he's feeling that swelling and stiffness in his knee, and he basically can't move. And you're forcing people to try to watch it. I understand the reaction, by the way, of we just gave him a $190 million extension. Make the guy play. We're getting some return on this investment, but is that really like smart long term? What you're hoping at this point, the best you can hope with Embiid, let's try to squeeze out something of the end of this contract with some health. And you do that by getting surgery now and sending him home and call it a wrap on the season because they really haven't had a season.
Stephen A.
I think Daryl Morey's going to end up losing his job in Philadelphia. I'm not advocating for it, but I think it's important to mention. Because at some point in time, if you're the billionaire owner for the Philadelphia 76ers, you're going to ask Daryl Morey, why did we give Joel Embiid this extension? Look at his health. Look at how debilitated he is.